What's up, fam? What's up, baby? We back. I'm back with another episode of The Rundown. Man, it's been a couple weeks, dog. Feels really good to be back for you guys. Got a good show tonight for y'all, but if you're new to the show, make sure you hitting that like button, hit that follow button, man. You can find myself here at Real News 102. And make sure you're checking out the new channel at The Rundown 102 as well, where I'll be posting these shows and some highlights for you guys, some clips and whatnot. But definitely support the channels, man. It feels good to be back. Bus tours and whatnot, summer camps, college camp season. It's that time for you prospects. But of course, I got some good topics for you guys. But before we get into that, the sponsors been turning up a little bit, man. Let's give some love to our sponsors. First off, the first one, right? The main man, my guy Lance over at Taste One Boiled Peanuts. All right, now I got some of these in some of y'all hands. To make this man even got one, you feel me? Working on the garbage disposal, but these gonna get in some of y'all hands for sure. Shouts out to my guy Lance over at Taste One. Of course, the D2O family still rocking with the boy. About to get a new package in for them. Shouts out to D2O fam. It's light, real bright. Oh well. You guys have seen the D2O water. Hustle, hydrate, repeat. And the black water, man, for sure. Want to get this in some of y'all hands, have y'all do some taste tests. Hold on, I spilled some water. All right, we good. All right, D2O fam, shouts out to D2O fam. All right, man, something new. We've been expanding a little bit. Starts with you guys, my bad. A little rookie on the mic again. Shouts out to Quench Hydration, man. Done hooked your boy all the way up. I got a whole care package, man. But of course, these gonna be getting in y'all hands too. I want to pass out some of these. I don't gulp this one, but I got some more stuff for you guys. Some stuff you can mix and whatnot. So I'll be giving out some of those as well. Shouts out to Quench, man. Quench Hydration looking out. They're a big hockey brand, but they're trying to do something in this basketball and football world. Last but not least, my boy from EHP Labs hooked me up a few weeks ago with some of his products or some of their products. Really solid brand, really quality brand here at EHP. And lastly, Spoken Nutrition, man. Spoken Nutrition got me right with the Quench Hydration fam, some creatine, some other products, some greens and whatnot. So shouts out to the sponsors, man. We continuing to grow. Definitely all about brand visibility, helping you guys out with brand awareness. So anybody else that wants to tap in, any potential sponsors from roofing to landscaping, it doesn't matter. You want to get your brand in front of a wide demographic, a trusted source, hit me up, man. Let's do some work. But all right, let's get into this show. I got a quick preview for you guys. Man, like I said, I wrapped up a bus tour with my brother, man, Coach BJ Hall, quarterback trainer and coach. We'll go over the entire bus tour experience. These kids and these parents, they really get a lot out of these. You know what I mean? Of course, traveling out of state, raising the expectation bar, being at some of these bigger colleges, and getting in front of a lot of schools at some of these mega camps. So we'll break down who stood out and kind of go over the tour itself. Next up, man, I kind of want to talk about some QBs I'm excited to see. We've been from January to now. We've seen 7v7, spring ball, summer camp, and now these school workouts. But I'll talk about a few 2026s, but let's get into some 2027s and 28s as well as we do our quarterback spotlight for tonight. As we jump back into the rundown, I'll dedicate that segment to some of our Florida signal callers, man. And lastly, for my hoops family, man, my basketball fam, I'll be out at the Bartow Shootout this weekend. Lead scout over at Prep Hoops. If you don't know, check out prephoops.com. If you're not following already, check out the social media. But man, it's been a solid off season. I've been out a couple of events, a few events, but I'll talk about some teams and players I'm excited to see this weekend at the Bartow Shootout, the annual Bartow Shootout. So, all right, man, let's get into this bus tour for my family, for the parents, that was following along. It was tiring, man, but these things are always rewarding for the kids and everyone that's involved. It's a great experience to be in new environments. And like I said, it's high expectations when we out there. When you're on the bus tour, you got that neon sleeve, you with us, man. it's time to perform, man. You see where the dogs come out at these type of settings. So, all right, a mouthful. But before we get into the event, fam, appreciate y'all that's been tapping in. Make sure you hit that like button and check out the Rundown 102. And also, I want to do a giveaway real quick. Forgot to mention this. If you're watching right now, perfect timing. I want to do a giveaway for you guys. So if you're watching now, the first person, you know what I mean, to like or to show me, DM me or whatever, proof, like, share, comment, and quote tweet the stream for tonight. I'll say it again. You got to like it. You got to retweet it, share it, do a comment, leave a comment and quote tweet it with follow the Rundown. You know what I mean? Tag the Rundown, tell people to follow it. And lastly, man, if you subscribe to the YouTube, so you got to do all those, guys. You like, share, comment, easy, quote it, and subscribe to the YouTube, which I'll have the link tonight. You guys can see. Show me that, and I got you, man. I got a care package for you. I'll hook you up with some of these products that I got, do a little taste test and whatnot, let the people know that you won some products. So like, share, comment, and follow subscribe to the YouTube, man. It's all free support. And I'll get you guys some products. So the first person to do that, I'll do my first giveaway on the Rundown. So I'll announce it again. I'll look back after the show to see who was first for the timestamps. But y'all go ahead and get that in so I can get some of these products out to you guys who've been supporting. But let's get into the bus tour, man. Third time around with Coach BJ Hall and the kids, man. But this time, before we even got into the tour, man, and before I even get into any standouts, I want to help lay the foundation for what the entire tour is about. Of course, it's about getting reps. Of course, it's about competing in front of college coaches. But it's more than that, man. This bus tour has kind of evolved to be more than that. It's a real opportunity to step outside your comfort zone and get a taste of what the college football world actually looks and feels like. And you get a little bit of knowledge from myself, my guy Spike D, Film Nord, Coach BJ Hall, and some of the people that's tied along with it, Coach McDonald and stuff like that. But one thing that Coach allowed me to do was speak to the kids before we even got on the bus or before we even got to some of these camps. And shouts out to my dog Landlin. I've been seeing them put out some clips about some of these things as well. But let's talk about the importance of, your digital resume, which is social media. You know what I mean? Before you even get to some of these camps, before some of these coaches watch your film or watch you compete, shake your hand, meet you, they click on your social media profile. You know what I mean? This is some of your first impressions for some of these college coaches or personnel. So let's make sure it looks clean for you kids that are watching. You know what I mean? Let's make sure your bios are correct. Make sure your class year, your school position, height and weight, contact info, maybe even your GPA. Make sure these things are up to date, you know what I mean, and correct. Have your pinned tweet as your latest highlights, you know what I mean, maybe your latest offer or whatnot. Don't be afraid to post some of these clips that you got in the off season, whether it's workout, 7v7, you in the gym, you with your trainer, man. Make sure you staying active on social media. If I click on your page, I want to make sure you're active. I don't want to see something that's posted 6 months ago, 3 months ago. So you're training, 7v7 reps, spring ball, tag your coaches, tag media like myself, tag recruiting analysts, and tag your position coaches. You know what I mean? Be intentional and be professional with your social media, man. It can help you a lot on the recruiting process. Real quick, let's talk about what it means to be offered verbally or committable. Landlin as well, I seen you talk about this, but this is something I was talking about with the kids before I seen that on social media. Know what a committable offer means. Is the school ready for you right now? You know what I mean? Can you lock in and commit right now? Or is it a relationship offer? You know what I mean? Let's keep in touch type thing. Let's get you on campus type thing. You know what I mean? Or we'll be watching you over the fall. You know what I mean? These are type build relationships. Schools like to be on you early. You know what I mean? So know where you are on the board, you know, at your position. That's why it's a good thing to talk to your position coach and build a relationship. Don't confuse attention with intention. You know what I mean? Attention is cool. You know what I mean? These offers, you see these kids posting daily. But how how serious are these offers? Can you commit right now, especially for you 2026s? You know what I mean? The clock is ticking. I'll be looking to make a move before the fall season even happens, so you don't have to focus on these things, and things are already locked in. That's committing early. You know what I mean? You see a lot of 2026 quarterbacks did that a couple months ago, but once you're off the board, man, once the school stops recruiting your competition, you don't want to wait too long. You know what I mean? We've seen it a lot, especially in Polk County. You might be getting a couple offers or some attention late in the process, and you might be waiting along for a bigger school. You know what I mean? Be smart with your recruiting process. That's for you parents as well. So, and lastly, man, I don't want to talk you guys' heads off. This won't be too long of a show. I'm rocking out solo tonight, but let's talk about the recruiting process in a whole. For Florida ball, South, in the South, it's a little different. You know what I mean? It starts in January through April. You know what I mean? This is usually 7v7, the circuit. Whether you're competing with your travel ball teams, you're lifting weights, you're working on your conditioning, you're mentally preparing for the spring period, you know what I mean, which is the April, May, where you're building chemistry, competition, building team identity with your actual teammates. You're putting down 7v7, the flashy Instagram crap, and you're working on actual ball with your teammates. And then last, you know what I mean, where we are now, or not lastly, but where we are now, this June, July camp season period, where you can have an opportunity to compete in front of college coaches, have an opportunity to earn some offers on these campuses so that you belong, shake hands, introduce yourself, build relationships with these college coaches and personnel, even media, you know what I mean? But throughout the whole process, you should be doing that anyway. You should be looking to build relationships. You should be staying active on social media, staying active in your training process. You know what I mean? These are things that you can control the controllables. You can't control how tall you are, how good looking you are in life. Some things you can't control, you know what I mean? But you can control certain things. Working on your frame, working on your speed, conditioning, getting prepared for what matters, putting stuff on film for these coaches to evaluate. So 7v7 is cool. I love it. I traveled throughout half of the year. But focus on what you can control, man. Work on your speed, man. Work on your technique. Work on your craft. Those things are going to matter when you show up to these camps and you're not prepared. You're tired. You can't get reps in. You letting guys pass you up. You know what I mean? You're not prepared mentally. So be prepared. Work on your game, you know what I mean, throughout the whole season, throughout the whole year before you get to what's most important, the fall ball, when the lights are on, lights are bright. You don't want to be out there and the lights are too bright. You've been working since January. You've been dogging kids since January. Your condition is top notch. You're ready to lock down that 4 or 5-star receiver for your DBs. You've been working on your whiteboard skills for your quarterbacks, your pre-snaps. You ready. You know what your coverages look like. Your receivers, your releases are crisp, clean. Your chemistry's tight with your quarterback. Your timing is on point. And most importantly, for you trench guys, your strength training is right. Your speed, your quick first step, your burst, working on your bends, working on your different techniques, working on your hand placements. These things are ultra important. So when you get to fall ball, you know what I mean? So big things talking to the kids before you even get to the camps, man. These are certain things you should have your notebook out, you know what I mean? These are things that your coaches should be telling you, your parents. But if you're not, I'm here to tell you. Big bro Drew's here to tell you. So you kids that are on the bus tour, you already know I talk your head off a little bit. Coach BJ going to do that for sure. But these are things that I'll talk to with the kids. And I hope you guys that are watching live, you know what I mean, got some gems for that. So make sure your social media is on point. You know what a non-committable offer is versus a committable, versus relationship, versus verbal. And we talk about the whole recruiting process from January to now, or January up to fall. Things you should be working on. So go back. If you missed that section, go back and listen to it. But all right, man, for you parents and you kids and Coach BJ, let's get into the actual bus tour, man. And for kids that missed out, you know what I mean? These are some things that you could have had an opportunity to experience. It started off with stop one, man. We left Trinity at the G Sports Complex and drove all the way out to Knoxville, man. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Didn't disappoint. The facilities are good. I like the state of Tennessee, man, but the competition was good. It was solid. This was some of the kids' first time competing on a Power 5 campus of this size, of this magnitude. Coach Heupel and crew watching the kids compete. So a few quarterbacks got up close with staff, but we got more than quarterbacks. If you don't know, we had a lot of quarterbacks, the quarterback house tour, but we had some athletes as well. So they got to see what the SEC ball looks like, some of those facilities. Shouts out to Gavin Davis, 2027 wide receiver, 2026 DBs, Mikael King, Isaiah Williams kind of started the tour off. We had some solid days. I'll get into some standouts, but the Tennessee stop was solid, man. Didn't disappoint. The conversations were real. The coaches were able to drop some nuggets, but it transitioned to Georgia State, man. Tennessee was cool, but Georgia State, man, I like Georgia State. Coach Dale McGee and crew, Coach BJ Hall, and some of the parents that we had traveling got a relationship with this school. So it's more homey, it's more private, personal. Get to shake the coach's hand a little bit. Group of 5 feel, you know what I mean? They leveling up, pushing for the Big 12, but this is my second time at Georgia State, always intense. Don't let it fool you. Them Georgia boys know how to play, and they always show up to these camps, man. They always physical. But Miles McDonald, Jordan Calvin, some 2027 quarterbacks, as well as 2028, Luke Wilson, who I'll talk about a lot here, and 2026, Brody Church. All of these kids earned offers. Brody Church already had an offer here, but those were 3 kids who earned offers, killed the Georgia State camp, man. The coaches were able to pay close attention to them. Some more, like I said, more personal at this camp. So shouts out to Georgia State and staff. Really rock with that crew. But this stop right here, guys, was my favorite, man. If you don't know, now you know I'm a big Seminole, man, since birth. I've been watching ACC ball for a long time, you know what I mean? And I was able to go out to Clemson, man. You know what I mean? Got my eyes on the Clemson Tigers. Beautiful facility. Shouts out the state of South Carolina, right? It was a little weary. I've been in North Carolina, but South Carolina was cool, man, from the people all the way up to the school, man. The staff was cool, more laid back, you know what I mean? Some of these schools, these big-time schools, if you're watching, y'all be having some bulldogs out there, man. You got to chill out, man. Some of us know what we're doing. We just like to be close and actually evaluate the kids close and personal. But Clemson, man, Dabo, dog, this was unmatched. I've been to a lot of these camps now across the country. Shouts out to Coach BJ, but Dabo, man, dog, I've been watching him for a while. I love the way he approaches the game. I love how I guess he structures his coaching, how he approaches it. So the camp itself was fast paced. It was an 8-hour camp. And if you know, you parents, you've been to a lot of these camps. I hate to say money grab, but they're a lot similar, right? To where it's kind of a combine type thing. 90% of these kids have never ran a 40. They've never did L drills. They never did a lot of these things. So that takes a lot of time and measurements as well. But Dabo, man, let them go right at it. He wants to see the kids play football. What can you do in between the lines? A lot of you quarterbacks look good on routes on air. A lot of you quarterbacks look good going through individual drills. But how do you look when there's a DB? Got strapper mentality, you know what I mean? That came to the camp with a certain mindset. Now, I'm not about to let any wide receiver look good on me. Where's your ball placement then? Where's your timing then? You know what I mean? How do you look when there's an actual dog on the other side? So I want to see. That's why I love the 1v1 period. You know what I mean? That's why I really get to evaluate kids. Of course, you wide receivers running across the middle, running them short routes, it's going to be a linebacker or a safety there to take your head off. But 1v1s, man, I can really evaluate what some of these kids can do in quarterback. So Clemson let them play football. That was number one. Shouts out to Clemson for that. Great staff. Taj Boyd was out there. You know what I mean? Little Sweeney was out there. You know what I mean? But Dabo kicked it off. Great speech. Wrapped it up with a great speech. My favorite camp, man. So if you watching, if you get out to Clemson, get out to the Tigers. But Kennesaw State, moved over to Kennesaw State, came back to Georgia, man. A mega camp. Been to this mega camp before, like Kennesaw State. Opportunity for a lot of kids to shine. A lot of coaches are there. Moved over to the state of Alabama, man. We stopped at Sanford. Beautiful facilities, that old school type feel. You know what I mean? We doubled it up with Alabama State. Hit Sanford. A lot of kids balled at Sanford. You know what I mean? Aiden Wallace. You know what I mean? A lot of Gavin Davis again. Luke Wilson. A lot of kids I can go down on this. I will. But Sanford was a cool vibe. Opportunity for a lot of kids to shine. And then we moved over to an HBCU vibe. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Alabama State. kind of welcome us and Coach BJ Hall for kind of like a private workout type thing where they was able to see the kids perform. So this was cool. I really appreciate the Alabama stop. So, and then, man, we wrapped it up, dog. Came back to the Sunshine State. Ain't nothing like Florida, man. I love these schools that we went to, but even at West Florida, man, the dogs was out there, bro. Of course, the heat was like no other. It was hot everywhere we went around, but it's something about Florida, dog. It felt like we was in the oven. I don't know what it was, but man, no West, them Florida boys was out there, dog. I love the competition, man. I love the kids that come out, perform, talk and back it up. You know what I mean? That's just how we move. So West Florida was cool, but those are just some of the stops that we made. Parents that are watching, this tour, man, was unique, man. It was something about it. It was shorter, but I really, really enjoyed this tour here. But let's get into some of the standouts that really caught my attention. Of course, man, dog, it starts with this kid right here, man. He kind of took over the tour. My third time around, I kind of noticed some of the kids just do that, you know what I mean? And that was Luke Wilson, 2028 wide receiver out of Clearwater Central, Clearwater Catholic, whatever CCC y'all say. No disrespect to them boys, real football program. But this kid, man, I call him White Lightning. Shouts out to my guy Film Noir, who I'll pull up a video. I'm about to pull up a video right here. But I told y'all, man, I told y'all before the season even started, told Andy Villamarzo, there was a kid I seen playing with Trinity Elite throughout the 77 circuit, was unstoppable. You know what I mean? 77s is cool and whatnot, but I'm seeing the technique. I'm seeing the speed. I'm seeing the brakes. I'm seeing the hands. I'm like, God damn, who is this kid? You know what I mean? And you already know they're going to talk down on him. You know what I mean? White kid, whatever. That happens. But this kid a dog. It don't matter what you wear. You go out there and get cooked. And that's what he did all tour. Let me show y'all, man. Shouts out to my guy Film Noir, Spike D and crew. Had the whole crew this weekend, but got a nice little video they put together. Cooking at Clemson. Hold on. Let me share it for y'all real quick. You kids that are watching, man, it's the type of exposure you can get when you come on these tours, man. Let me show y'all. Okay. Hey, man, my dog cooked, man. They had Dabo Sweeney all over him. Pulled my guy over to the side. Had a little showdown with a DB out there that was strapping. But that's what it means, man, to get in front of these coaches and prove yourself. Yeah. Woo. Hey, this is where it start before the season, man. When you see these releases, these breaks, these finishes with the hands, you got to put that work in. Mikhail, he cooked, man. Man, shouts out to that kid. Shouts out Luke Wilson, dog. Really, really, really showed himself, man, for sure. But that was a video highlight. A lot of video highlights that the kids are posting on Instagram. Some that I'll mention. You coaches that are watching, make sure you get eyes on these kids, man. I'm not playing. Brody Church, another CCC kid, tight end. One of the more complete tight ends I've been around. You know what I mean? Good size, good hands. And you can tell he's about his business. You know what I mean? I like that kid, Brody Church, for sure. Can block a little bit, but he's a receiving threat. Huge stock riser, man. I've been watching this kid for a few years now under the coach BJ Hall. Under Coach BJ Hall for a while now. And that's Miles McDonald, 2027 quarterback over at Carrollwood Day. Seen him when he was a puppy, man. But to watch him now, first in line every time. The cleanest ball. I like Darian Coleman, man. But this kid, a lefty, one of the cleanest releases I've seen, man. It's a spiral every time. And his body, his frames come together to where he can run the ball a little bit. He might run a couple of y'all over this year. So if you playing CDS, watch out for Miles McDonald. But 226s that I've had ties to for a few years now. Joel Morris, you know what I mean, has all the tools in the toolbox, you know what I mean, to be a college quarterback. And Aiden Wallace as well, one of the better quarterbacks out there in the Tampa area at Lakewood High School. Athletic frame, can run a 4.6 now, 4.5, 4.6 kid. Powerful arm, you know what I mean? These two kids right here, strong arm kids, very coachable as well. So I like those two quarterbacks in 2026 class. Another 2026 DBs I like: Mikael King, Jordan Walker, and Antrey Lee. All three flash great instincts, cover skills. Elijah Stratford was good as well. But those were some DBs, man, that showed up on the tour and was lockdown guys who I expect to have some solid fall seasons. And Gavin Davis, man, super twitchy kid in the slot, similar to Luke Wilson. These are my two gadget piece guys, two slot guys who a lot of you DBs got cooked by this week. But he's a really good, like I said, I guess a kid that can take a 10-yard catch and blow past, you know what I mean? Speedy kid, track speed, 4.5, 4.6 kid too. But he's a potential return game weapon. He can go to the league for what he can do in special teams. You know what I mean? He put that ball in his hands, punt return and a kick return, and he got a high chance of taking it back. So those were some solid top dogs. Y'all mentioned some more. Josiah Carter, 2030 kid at ZCA. Don't let the A's fool you. I'm telling you now, I've seen it with Miles. This kid's going to be the real deal. Really clean mechanics, and the spin on the ball. You know, he looks like a high school kid. He looks good. But Will Marabella, man, hey, you coaches that need a running back over at Alonzo High School, like this kid, man. 4.5 speed. He got clocked out at Sanford. But he showed he can catch out the backfield this week, man. You know we can run between the tackles, but he could be a 3-down back. I mentioned Jordan Calvin over at Gibbs. I don't know what they got in the water over there, but they all look to be 6'3", 6'5". They got a 6'10" kid, but he's raw. It's no secret. But once he gets some work in, he had the strongest arm on the whole bus. We was at West Florida. He threw the ball like 60, 65 yards. Just get out just throwing that big. So I like him. Caleb McFarland, 2027 kid over at Lakeland High School. Just cool, calm, and composed. You know what I mean? Don't talk too much, don't do too much, but goes out and spins it. Model of consistency. Roos, KJ Roos over at Durant, 2028 kid. Hey, man, that kid came into me every rep. Coach, I got it today. I'm gonna stand out today. So I like him. Tyson Norton, man, over at Springstead. I've been watching him a couple of years now. Now he's more confident now when he throws the ball. I like him this week. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Norton, dog. Jorge Mercado over at Steinbrenner, like him. You know what I mean? Showed he can catch the ball out the backfield. I mean, I'm eager to see how they use him. It's going to be a slot kid or it's going to be a running back. So Bryson Rabone looked really good. Frankie Cherry, my dog Christian Burner, just transferred to Indian Rocks Christian. With Gavin Galeesh, another powerful arm kid. Really like Gavin. He'll run a couple of y'all over this year. Jordan White, 2026, another DB I like. Forgot to mention Jordan. Burner, Alexander Burner, Christian's brother. Stantina, Austin over at Springstead. Like him. You know what I mean? Tall receiver. Some young pup, Stephen LeBlanc. This kid going to be like that. You know what I mean? Coach says a young Griffin, young Will. He's a bigger kid, strong arm. See what he can do. Some young pups, Ty Lee, 2029 kid. Mason Pauliette, 2028 linebacker, extremely gifted. I like him. Twitchy, fast, aggressive. Taj Leathers, another 2029 kid. Caleb Reinke, Carter Babies. Those two rode each other's, I would say, on each other's hip this week. But solid, you know what I mean? You can see at the end of the tour, really start coming into their game. Beckham Bell and Jeremiah Jackson, another two young quarterbacks. Bell, 2029, Jackson, 2030 or 2031, either one. But this was a solid group, man. Really solid group that I got to cover on this bus tour. You know what I mean? I hope you guys learned a lot. And some of you young kids, hope y'all see y'all next year. You know what I mean? So shouts out to my brother, Coach BJ Hall. Wanted to dedicate this first segment, a first time back, first half of the show to the bus tour, man. I've been going for a week, and I was going for a week before. So you guys deserve it, man. So if I missed the name, make sure you tag, you know what I mean? Make sure you guys like and share the show for that, man. Shouts out to those kids that were part of the tour. Really hope you guys got a lot out of our film crew that was there. Shouts out to Spike D and crew and the write-ups, man. You parents were able to, you know, stay along with the tour throughout the week and see who stood out, you know what I mean? See and I guess track along your kid, you know, his progress. So, all right, man, that was a lot from my bus tour fam. Take a sip real quick. Hit that like button. Hit that share button, man. You feel me? It's free. The rundown has been free, dog. It's all love for y'all, but let's transition to another big time segment, man. That was from a bus tour, guys. I broke down a lot of quarterbacks, but let's continue. I want to dedicate this segment to our Florida signal callers, man. If you've been paying attention to the quarterback class, the 2026 class, man, I don't know if there's been something like that in the last decade or so, but Florida has taken the next step in general in its quarterback play. It starts with guys like Balin Trujillo, the Central Florida area, my brother BJ Hall, the quarterback stable, the Bennett and crew, Steven Garcia, TTG, my dog, Raylan in the Polk County area, my boy Sage in that Southwest.